Hello, my dear friends. Before we start this amazing story, don't forget to leave a like and comment what you think. Your comments motivate me to keep sharing these emotional stories with you. The mahogany conference table gleamed as Richard Sterling checked his Rolex. The Japanese delegation would arrive in 15 minutes, and his translator was missing. Marcus Chen never missed meetings. Something was terribly wrong. Sir, Marcus isn't answering. Sarah, his assistant, said nervously. Should I call the agency for a replacement? Do it, Richard snapped. This deal with Yamamoto Electronics worth $500 million couldn't fail. In the corner, Elena Martinez wrung her mop, trying to finish cleaning before the important meeting. Her supervisor Tom had warned her to be invisible today. Big shots coming, Elena. In and out. Understand? She understood. For 2 years, she'd perfected the art of invisibility at Sterling Industries, cleaning offices while executives discussed million-dollar deals. Nobody noticed a small Latina woman pushing her cart through their important lives. Richard's phone buzzed. Sarah's text made him pale. Marcus, in hospital. Car accident. No replacement available. The elevator chimed. Through glass walls, Richard saw them. 5 Japanese executives led by Takashi Yamamoto himself. The elderly businessman spoke no English, and the deal would die without translation. Elena's cartwheel squeaked as she rushed toward the exit. In her haste, she knocked over a water pitcher. The crash echoed as the Japanese delegation entered. Sumimasen, Elena gasped automatically, bowing deeply. Eme, siwake, gozaimasen. The Japanese executives paused, surprised by the perfect formal Japanese from a cleaning woman. Takashi Yamamoto's eyebrows rose slightly. Richard stepped forward desperately. Gentlemen, welcome. There's been an emergency with our translator. Yamamoto's expression hardened. He spoke rapidly in Japanese to his colleagues. Elena caught every word. This is American preparation. They cannot even arrange a translator. Perhaps we should reconsider. Without thinking, Elena stepped forward. Please, wait. All eyes turned to her. Richard's assistant moved to escort her out, but something in Elena's posture stopped everyone. Mr. Sterling, Elena said quietly, then turned to the delegation. Speaking flawless Japanese, Yamamoto-sama, please forgive this situation. The translator was in a serious accident, not negligence. If you would permit someone as humble as myself, I would be honored to assist, though I am unworthy of such an important task. Takashi Yamamoto studied her intently. You speak like someone educated in Kyoto, yet you clean floors in New York. Why? Elena's cheeks burned, but she maintained eye contact. Life takes unexpected turns, Yamamoto-sama, but every honest job has honor. What is your name? Elena Martinez, sir. Yamamoto considered for a long moment. Your Japanese is impeccable. Where did you study? I lived in Japan for 8 years, sir. My father was stationed at Yokosuka Naval Base. I attended local schools. Richard finally found his voice. You speak Japanese. You've been cleaning our offices for 2 years, and you speak Japanese. Elena turned to him. I speak 5 languages, Mr. Sterling, but you pay me to clean, not to talk. 5 languages. Richard's mind raced. Which ones? Japanese, Mandarin, Spanish, English, and French. Some Korean and Arabic too. Yamamoto spoke again in Japanese. This woman who cleans your floors speaks more languages than your executives. Interesting, Sterling said. What else do you not see in your own house? Elena translated his words precisely. Watching Richard's face flush with embarrassment and something else, shame. Perhaps Yamamoto-sama, Richard said carefully. Would you accept Ms. Martinez as our translator for this meeting? The old man's weathered face showed the hint of a smile. I'm curious now. Yes, Elena-san will translate. Let us see what other surprises today brings. Elena sat at the conference table, still wearing her cleaning uniform and rubber gloves. She peeled them off self-consciously as executives from both companies took their seats. Her heart hammered, but her hands remained steady. Shall we begin? Yamamoto said in Japanese. For the next 2 hours, Elena translated flawlessly. But she did more than translate words. She conveyed cultural nuances, prevented misunderstandings, and helped both sides find common ground. When discussions grew heated over profit percentages, she suggested the ancient Japanese concept of win-win partnerships, earning an approving nod from Yamamoto. The American market needs reliable battery technology, Richard explained. Your innovations could revolutionize electric vehicles. As Alina translated, she added subtle contextual notes that helped Yamamoto understand not just what Richard said, but what he meant. The old businessman's posture gradually relaxed. During a break, Richard pulled Alina aside. Where did you learn business terminology in Japanese? I pay attention, Mr. Sterling. 2 years of cleaning during meetings, I hear everything. She hesitated. I also have an MBA from Waseda University in Tokyo. Richard's jaw dropped. You have an MBA, and you're cleaning offices. My credentials don't transfer easily. My husband died 3 years ago, leaving me with a sick daughter and no legal status. Your company doesn't ask questions if you clean well. The health insurance covers my daughter's lupus medication. Before Richard could respond, the meeting resumed. The negotiations intensified, with Yamamoto's nephew Kenji pushing for aggressive terms. Alina navigated each challenge, her translations becoming more nuanced, her cultural insights invaluable. Yamamoto-sama believes trust is more important than contracts, she whispered to Richard. If you share something personal, show vulnerability, it will mean more than any number. Richard took her advice. Yamamoto-sama, my grandfather started Sterling Industries in a garage. He believed business should improve lives, not just make profit. That's why your battery technology excites MIT, can help save our planet for our children. When Alina translated, adding the respectful language that showed Richard's humility, Yamamoto's expression softened visibly as the afternoon sun painted the conference room gold. They reached a crucial moment. Partnership structure. Yamamoto proposed 70-30 in his favor. Richard's CFO, James Morrison, immediately objected. That's unacceptable. We need equal partnership. The tension spiked. Alina sensed the deal collapsing and made a bold decision. Yamamoto-sama, she said in Japanese, may I share an observation? In nature, the strongest bridges are those where different materials support each other. Your technology is like steel, strong and essential. Sterling's distribution is like concrete, broad and reaching. Neither is complete alone. Perhaps a structure where each leads in their strength. Yamamoto's eyes sharpened with interest. Continue. Alina outlined a creative partnership where both companies would have majority stake in different aspects. Yamamoto in technology, Sterling in distribution. True partnership, not domination. This woman thinks like a CEO, not a cleaner, Yamamoto said to his team. Then to Richard. Is this proposal acceptable? Richard, still stunned by Alina's innovation, nodded immediately. Yes, it's brilliant. As the meeting concluded successfully, Yamamoto stood and did something unprecedented. He bowed to Alina. You have saved this partnership, Alina-san. Sterling-san, this woman is wasted cleaning floors. After the Japanese delegation left, Richard faced Alina. We need to talk about your future. Mr. Sterling, I'm undocumented. You can't hire me officially. I'll figure it out. Someone with your talents shouldn't be invisible. He paused. Will you translate again tomorrow? I'll pay consulting fees. Alina thought of Sophia's medication, the mounting bills. Yes. That night, Alina returned home to find her 12-year-old daughter doing homework. Sophia looked up with concern. Mom, you look different. What happened? I used my languages today, Mia. Really used them. Sophia hugged her tightly. Finally, I knew someone would notice how special you are. As Alina held her daughter, she wondered if this was the beginning of something new, or just a brief moment in the light, before returning to the shadows. Only time would tell. The next morning, Alina arrived at Sterling Industries wearing her only business outfit, a simple black dress she'd worn to her husband Miguel's funeral. Security did a double take when she asked for an executive elevator pass. Mr. Sterling requested I come to the 40th floor, she explained. Richard was waiting in the conference room with Patricia Nguyen, the HR director, and David Kleinberg, a distinguished-looking lawyer. Alina, we've been discussing your situation, Richard began. David specializes in immigration law. He thinks we have options. Mr. Sterling, I appreciate this, but please, just listen. Richard's voice was firm but kind. Yesterday, you saved a deal worth $500 million. You deserve more than minimum wage and shadows. Kleinberg leaned forward. Your daughter is a U.S. citizen. Yes. Born here during my husband's first UN assignment. That helps. We can potentially file for adjustment of status based on extreme hardship to a U.S. citizen child with serious medical condition. He made notes. Tell me about your education. Alina reluctantly shared her credentials: MBA from Waseda, undergraduate from Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico, certifications in simultaneous translation. With each revelation, Richard looked more stunned. You're more qualified than half my executives, he muttered. A knock interrupted them. James Morrison entered, his face dark with suspicion. Richard, we need to discuss yesterday's unconventional negotiation. What's to discuss? We got the deal. By trusting a janitor. James shot Alina a dismissive look. How do we know she translated accurately? She could have said anything. Alina's spine straightened. Morrison-san, anata wa, watashi, wo shinrai, shite imasen ni, demo. Anata no kusan linda jua. Davis shen noim. Tu desune. Tesseract Industries, no CEO. James went pale. What did you just say? I said you don't trust me. But your wife Linda is David Chen's sister, the CEO of Tesseract Industries, our biggest competitor. Elena's voice remained calm. I clean your office too, Mr. Morrison. I hear your phone calls. The room went silent. Richard's eyes narrowed. James, what is she talking about? Nothing. It's ridiculous. You're going to believe a cleaning woman. Stop calling her that, Richard snapped. Answer the question. James's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his face went white. Alina caught a glimpse of the text. Did you get the Yamamoto details? Give me the phone, Richard commanded. This is insane. The phone, James. Now, cornered, James threw his phone on the table and stormed out. Richard scrolled through messages, his expression darkening. He's been feeding information to Tesseract, he said quietly, including details about yesterday's meeting. He looked at Alina with new respect. You knew, I suspected. He takes calls during sensitive meetings, always from family. Alina shrugged. In my world, we notice patterns. It's how we survive. Patricia Nguyen shook her head in amazement. 2 years of industrial espionage, and the cleaning lady catches it. Please stop calling me that, Alina said quietly. I have a name. I have degrees. I have skills. I'm only invisible because you choose not to see me. The room fell silent at her dignified rebuke. Richard stood abruptly. You're right. I apologize. We've all been blind. He turned to Kleinberg. Whatever it takes, make her legal. I need her on my team. After the lawyer left, Richard asked Alina to stay. The Yamamoto team wants you, specifically, for all future meetings. I'm prepared to offer you a consultant position while we sort out the legal issues. How much? Name your price. Alina thought of Sophia, of years of struggle. 50,000 for the complete negotiation support. Done. But Alina, that's underselling yourself. It's more than I make in 2 years cleaning. It will cover Sophia's medications, and maybe. Her voice caught. Maybe, let me stop being afraid for a while. Richard pulled out his checkbook. I'm giving you 20,000 today as a retainer, the rest upon completion. He paused. Tell me about Sophia. Elena's face softened. She's brilliant. Speaks 3 languages already. Loves science. But lupus is stealing her childhood. Some days, she can barely walk. Bring her tomorrow. We have a medical suite here. Let our doctors evaluate her. See if we can help. Mr. Sterling, you don't have to, Richard. Please. And yes, I do. You saved my company yesterday. Let me help save your daughter. That evening, Alina told Sophia about the day's events. Her daughter listened with growing excitement. Mom, you're going to be a real executive. It's just consulting for now. Mia, don't get hopes too high. But Sophia was already planning. I can come to your office. Meet your boss. Mom, everything's changing. Yes, Alina agreed, holding her daughter close. Everything's changing. 3 weeks into the Yamamoto negotiations, Alina had become indispensable. She'd prevented 2 cultural misunderstandings that could have derailed everything and discovered a pricing error that saved Sterling Industries $3 million. But her position remained precarious still, technically a contractor, still waiting for immigration papers. Mom, you're nervous, Sophia observed over breakfast. The new medication Richard's doctors had prescribed was working wonderfully. Her pain had decreased dramatically. The final negotiation is today. If something goes wrong, it won't. You're brilliant. Sophia hugged her. Dad would be so proud. At Sterling Industries, Alina found chaos. Takashi Yamamoto stood in the conference room, his face thunderous, while his nephew Kenji gestured angrily at a laptop. What happened? Alina asked Richard. Someone leaked our entire negotiation strategy to Tesseract. They've made a counteroffer to Yamamoto. We could lose everything. Alina moved closer to Yamamoto, speaking in soft Japanese. Yamamoto-sama, please tell me what troubles you. This American company promises 50-50 partnership and $100 million signing bonus, he replied. How did they know our exact terms? Can I trust any American business? Elena's mind raced. James Morrison had been fired. But clearly the leak continued. She studied the room executives, assistants, security. Then she noticed something. Sarah, Richard's trusted assistant, kept checking her phone nervously. Yamamoto-sama, Elena said carefully, may I see Tesseract's offer? She read quickly, recognizing specific phrases from yesterday's private discussion between Richard and his inner circle. Only 3 people had been present: Richard, Patricia Nguyen, and Sarah. Mr. Sterling, Alina said quietly in English, we need to speak privately, now. In his office, Alina shared her suspicions. Richard's face went ashen. Sarah's been with me 5 years. She's like family. Check her financial records. I heard her on a call last week about medical bills for her mother. Richard made calls. Within minutes, he had confirmation Sarah had deposited $50,000 yesterday from an offshore account linked to Tesseract. God damn it. Richard's voice was broken. How did I miss this? You trust people. It's not a weakness, except when it is. Alina touched his arm gently. But we can fix this. They returned to find Yamamoto preparing to leave. Alina stepped forward boldly. Yamamoto-sama, before you go, let me tell you a story. 2 years ago, I trusted someone, completely a hospital administrator, who promised to help with my daughter's treatment if I paid cash up front. He took everything and disappeared. I learned that trust must be earned, not assumed. Yamamoto paused, listening. Mr. Sterling just discovered his most trusted assistant betrayed him. He's not hiding this from you. He's addressing it immediately. This is the difference. Sterling Industries admits mistakes and fixes them. Can Tesseract say the same? Richard stepped forward. Yamamoto-sama, I've been betrayed by 2 people I trusted. But Elena, who I barely knew, has shown more loyalty than executives I've known for years. I'm promoting her to Vice President of International Relations, effective immediately. But I'm not, Alina started. We'll make it work, Richard said firmly. Then to Yamamoto, I'm betting my company's future on someone who proved themselves through actions, not credentials. That's the kind of partner I'll be to you. Yamamoto studied them for a long moment. Alana-san, what do you think I should do? Alana answered carefully. I think you should ask yourself, who showed you truth even when it hurt them? Mr. Sterling could have hidden Sarah's betrayal. Instead, he exposed it. That's honor. The old man nodded slowly. We continue with Sterling Industries. But, he looked at Richard sternly. Clean your house. No more surprises. After your team left for lunch, Richard slumped in his chair. I need to confront Sarah. Let me, Alina said. Sometimes shadows see more clearly. She found Sarah packing her desk, tears streaming. You know. Yes, Alina sat across from her. Why? My mom has cancer. Insurance won't cover experimental treatment. Tesseract offered money I couldn't refuse. Sarah sobbed. I'm so sorry. Elena felt an unexpected wave of empathy. I understand desperation, but Sarah, you hurt people who trusted you. Security arrived to escort Sarah out. As she left, she whispered to Elena, take care of him. He's a good man who sees the best in people. I know, Elena replied. I'll try to protect that. That afternoon, the final contracts were signed. Yamamoto insisted Elena sign as official witness, making her part of the historical record. As celebrations began, Richard pulled Elena aside. I can't believe it's done. We actually did it. He studied her face. You saved everything. Again, we saved it together. Elena, he paused, something shifting in his expression. These past weeks, working with you, seeing your intelligence and integrity, I'm grateful, just doing my job. No, it's more than that. You've shown me how blind I've been, not just about talent, but about what matters. He took a breath. Would you have dinner with me? Not as employer and employee, just as people. Elena's heart skipped. Richard, I work for you now. I know, I'm probably breaking a dozen HR rules by asking, but Elena, I haven't felt this way since. He stopped. I'm sorry. Forget I asked. I didn't say no. Elena said softly. I said it's complicated. Everything about us is complicated. Richard smiled ruefully. Your immigration status, your employment, are different worlds. But maybe, Elena said, surprising herself, complicated can still be beautiful. 6 months after the Yamamoto deal closed, Elena Martinez walked through Sterling Industries as Vice President of International Relations. Her immigration status had been resolved through an extraordinary ability visa, and her salary allowed her to move to a better apartment and get Sophia the best medical care. Ms. Martinez, the Beijing team is on line 1, her assistant informed her. Elena smiled at the irony she now had an assistant. While once she'd emptied the trash cans in this very office. The Beijing call was about expanding Sterling's partnership with a Chinese battery manufacturer. Elena conducted the entire negotiation in Mandarin, securing terms that would save the company millions. Brilliant work, Richard said from her doorway. As always, their relationship had evolved into something indefinable, professional during office hours, but increasingly personal after. He attended Sophia's school events, joined their Sunday dinners, and had become the father figure Sophia desperately needed. Richard, we need to discuss something, Elena said. Closing her office door, Yamamoto called. He wants me to lead a new project, developing educational technology for teaching languages to underprivileged children. It would mean traveling frequently to Japan. Richard's face showed conflicting emotions. That's an incredible opportunity. But I'd miss you. Sophia would miss you. He paused. It's selfish, but I don't want you half a world away. I haven't said yes yet. Why not? It's perfect for you. Elena moved closer. Because complicated became beautiful. Just like I said it would. Because Sophia loves having you in our lives. Because. She took a breath. Because I love you, Richard. Despite every logical reason not to. The words hung between them for a heartbeat before Richard pulled her into his arms. Thank God, I've been in love with you for months, terrified to say anything. Their first kiss tasted like promise and possibility. When they broke apart, both were smiling. So what do we do now? Elena asked. We figure it out together. Maybe the language program can be based here. I could help fund it through Sterling Industries. You'd do that, Elena. I'd do anything to keep you and Sophia in my life. He traced her face gently. You've transformed everything, my company, my priorities, my heart. HR is going to have opinions, Elena laughed. Let them. I'm the CEO, and you're brilliant at your job. Our personal relationship doesn't change that. That evening, they told Sophia together. She listened with growing excitement, then launched herself at both of them. Finally, I was starting to think I'd have to lock you two in a conference room. She looked at Richard seriously. You'll be a good dad. You promise? Richard's eyes filled with tears. I promise to love and protect you both, always. Good, because Mom deserves someone who sees how amazing she is. And I deserve a dad who comes to my science fairs. Over the following months, they built their unconventional family. Richard moved into their apartment. Elena refused to uproot Sophia from her school and friends. He transformed from a workaholic CEO into a man who coached Sophia's robotics team and learned to cook Elena's mother's Mexican recipes. The Language Education Project launched as a Sterling Industries initiative, with Elena as director. Using Yamamoto's technology and Sterling's resources, they created an AI-powered system that made language learning accessible to children worldwide. The pilot program in New York's immigrant communities showed stunning results. "You're changing lives," Richard told her as they reviewed the data showing improved test scores and college acceptance rates for program participants. "We're changing lives," Elena corrected. "None of this would exist without your support. I just wrote checks. You built something transformative." 1 year after their first kiss, Richard proposed in the Sterling Industries conference room where they'd first met. He'd recreated the scene. Evan had a mop and bucket in the corner. "This is where you changed my life," he said, dropping to one knee, "where you showed me that the most valuable treasures are often hidden in plain sight." "Elena Martinez, will you marry me?" Through tears, Elena said yes. Sophia, who'd been hiding behind the door, burst in with champagne sparkling cider. "For her. About time," she declared. "I already designed my maid of honor dress." Their wedding was small but perfect, held in the rooftop garden of Sterling Industries. Takashi Yamamoto officiated, having gotten ordained online specifically for the occasion. Former cleaning staff mixed with executives, proving that love could bridge any divide. "You gave me my voice," Elena said in her vows. "You saw me when I was invisible and helped me see myself." "You saved my soul," Richard replied. "You showed me that success without love is just expensive emptiness." As they danced at the reception, Elena marveled at the journey. 3 years ago, she'd been an invisible woman pushing a mob. Now she was a vice president, an innovator, a wife, and most importantly, visible. "No regrets?" Richard asked, holding her close. "Only one," Elena said. "I wish Miguel could see this. Could know Sophia is healthy and happy." "He knows," Richard said softly. "How could he not? His legacy lives in both of you." Sophia interrupted their dance, pulling them both onto the floor. "Family dance," she announced. As the three of them swayed together, Elena felt complete. The cleaning lady had found her voice, the CEO had found his heart, and a sick little girl had found health and a father. Sometimes the best endings are really beginnings in disguise. 5 years after that fateful day in the conference room, Elena Sterling stood before the United Nations General Assembly. Her language education program had expanded to 30 countries, helping over 1 million children access quality language instruction through AI technology. "Language is bridge, not barrier," she told the assembly, switching smoothly between English, Spanish, Mandarin, and Arabic. "Every child deserves the tools to cross those bridges." In the audience, Richard watched with unchanged adoration, while Sophia, now 17, and headed to MIT, filmed proudly. The sick 12-year-old had become a confident young woman, her lupus in complete remission thanks to continued treatment. After her speech, delegates from 40 nations approached about implementing the program. Elena handled each conversation with the same grace she'd shown translating for Yamamoto years ago. "Miss Sterling, your story is inspiring," the Secretary General said. "From cleaning lady to global education innovator, gives hope to millions." "Everyone has potential," Elena replied. "Sometimes we just need someone to see it." That evening, at their apartment celebration, Takashi Yamamoto, now 80 but still sharp, raised a toast to Elanason, who proved that talent has no uniform. "To the three of us," Sophia added, "for showing that families come in all forms." "To second chances," Richard said, "and the courage to take them." Elena looked around the room. Her mother had moved from Mexico to be closer. Former cleaning staff colleagues had become program administrators, and Sterling Industries executives treated her as the leader she'd always been. To visibility, she said finally, "May everyone who feels unseen find their moment to shine." Later, as the party wound down, Elena found herself on the balcony with Richard and Sophia, looking out at the city lights. "Mom, do you ever miss the simplicity of just cleaning?" Sophia asked teasingly. "Sometimes," Elena admitted. "Life was harder, but less complicated." "Would you go back?" Richard asked, though he knew the answer. "Never. That woman served her purpose. She survived. She protected Sophia. She kept us going. But this woman," Elena gestured to herself, "she gets to thrive, to help others, to love openly." "Speaking of which," Sophia said with a grin, "when are you two giving me a sibling? I'll be in college soon." "The timing's perfect." Elena and Richard exchanged glances. They'd been trying for 2 years without success, a sadness they kept private. "If it happens, it happens," Elena said gently. "We have you. That's enough." "More than enough," Richard agreed, hugging them both as if the universe had been waiting for acceptance. Elena discovered she was pregnant 2 months later. At 41, she'd assumed it was impossible. Richard cried when she told him, and Sophia immediately began planning nursery designs. "Life keeps surprising us," Elena told her reflection. Hand on her still flat belly, the pregnancy was difficult. Her age and history of stress made it high risk, but the Sterling Industries family rallied around them. Patricia Nguyen organized meal deliveries, Yamamoto sent traditional Japanese remedies, and Sophia researched everything about geriatric pregnancy with scientific thoroughness. "You're not geriatric," she informed her mother indignantly. "You're experienced." When Alexander Miguel Sterling was born healthy, despite the fears Elena felt, her life come full circle. In the same hospital where she'd once begged for charity, care for Sophia, she now gave birth in a private suite with the best doctors. "He's perfect," Richard whispered, holding his son with trembling hands. "Thank you." "For what?" "For taking a chance on us. For building this life. For being brave enough to step out of the shadows." As Elena nursed her son, with Richard beside her, and Sophia cooing over her new brother, she thought about the long journey, from invisible to invaluable. Every struggle had led to this moment, this family, this love, this purpose. "What are you thinking?" Richard asked. "That every floor I mopped was worth it, because it led me to you, to us, to this. No more mopping for you," he said firmly, "only changing the world." "And changing diapers," Sophia added practically. "Lots and lots of diapers." They laughed, the sound filling the hospital room with joy. Outside, New York hummed with millions of stories, people struggling, surviving, hoping for their moment to be seen. Elena silently wished them all the courage to step forward when opportunity came. Because sometimes the greatest risk was staying invisible, and the greatest reward was finding the light. 2 years later, at Alexander's second birthday party, Elena received news that would crown her journey. The Nobel Committee was considering her language education program for the Peace Prize, recognizing how it had reduced conflicts by improving cross-cultural communication. From cleaning lady to Nobel nominee, the message from Yamamoto read, "I always knew you were golden." Whether she won or not didn't matter. Elena Martinez Sterling had already claimed her prize, a voice, a purpose, and a love that saw her truly. Standing in her son's nursery, watching Richard teach Alexander his first words in 3 languages while Sophia played translator, Elena smiled. The cleaning lady's secret had been simple. She was never just a cleaning lady. She was always Elena. It just took the right moment and the right hearts to finally see her shine. The Sterling Industries annual conference was the company's most prestigious event. This year, Elena would present the language education technology to potential global partners. Standing backstage, she fought familiar nerves. "You've presented to the UN," Richard reminded her, adjusting her microphone. "This is nothing. This is your world judging if I belong," Elena corrected. "Some still see me as the cleaning lady who got lucky, then proved them wrong again." Sophia appeared with Alexander on her hip. "Mom, Alex wants to wish you luck." "Mama." The toddler reached for Elena. Not now, baby. Mama's clothes need to stay clean. Alina kissed his forehead. Watch. With Daddy. Okay. On stage, Alina commanded the room. She demonstrated the AI language system, showing how it adapted to each child's learning style. The technology was revolutionary, and the results undeniable. Questions, she asked when finished. A venture capitalist raised his hand. The profit margins seem low. Why not charge more? Because the children who need this most can afford it least, Alina replied. We're building futures, not just profits. Idealistic, someone muttered. Practical, Alina countered. Today's immigrant child learning English is tomorrow's innovator. Today's refugee accessing education is tomorrow's leader. We're investing in human potential. The room erupted in discussion. Afterward, 3 countries committed to pilot programs, and a tech billionaire offered additional funding. You are magnificent, Takashi Yamamoto said, approaching with his walker. Age had slowed his body, but not his mind. You remind them that business can have soul. Yamamoto-sama, you honor me with your presence. I'm dying, Alina-san, he said quietly. Pancreatic cancer. Perhaps 6 months. Elena's eyes filled with tears. No, yes, but I've had a good life, and I've seen you bloom from shadow to light. That gives me peace. He pressed an envelope into her hands. For Alexander's education, and this another envelope, instructions for you alone. That night, Elena told Richard about Yamamoto's diagnosis. They held each other, grieving the man who'd changed their lives. He wants me to take over the Asian partnerships, Elena said. He's been grooming me without my realizing. You'll honor his legacy beautifully. Elena opened the private envelope. Inside was a handwritten note in Japanese and a photo of a young woman. My daughter died at childbirth 40 years ago. The note read, she would have been like you, brilliant, brave, building bridges. In you, I see what might have been. Thank you for being the daughter I lost. Love, Takashi, Elena sobbed in Richard's arms. The man who'd first seen her potential was saying goodbye. The next months were bittersweet. As Yamamoto declined, Elena spent hours with him, learning not just business, but life wisdom. He taught her about legacy, honor, and the courage to trust. Richard is a good man, he said one afternoon, watching Alexander play. But you are the stronger one. Never forget that. He saved me, Yamamoto-sama. No, you saved yourself. He just offered a ladder. The old man smiled. Remember that when times get hard. Yamamoto died peacefully in his sleep 2 weeks later. At his funeral in Tokyo, Elena delivered the eulogy in perfect Japanese. Not a dry eye in the temple. His will shocked everyone. He'd left his Sterling Industries shares to Elena, making her a major stakeholder. I can't accept this, she told the lawyers. You must, Yamamoto's widow insisted. He said you were the daughter he never got to raise. Honor his wishes. Back in New York, the gift created complications. Some board members resented Elena's sudden power. Whispers of gold digger and manipulation followed her through hallways. Let them talk, Richard said fiercely. Yamamoto knew exactly what he was doing, but the pressure wore on Elena. One night, she found herself in the supply closet of the executive floor, tears streaming. The familiar smell of cleaning supplies oddly comforted her. Mom, Sophia found her there. What are you doing? Remembering simpler times. Sophia, wise, beyond her 17 years, sat beside her. You know what I learned when I was sick? That we can't go backward, only forward. You're not that woman anymore. Sometimes I miss her. She had less to lose. She had everything. To lose me, our future, hope itself. This woman, Sophia gestured to Elena, has everything to give. Don't run from your power, Mom. Use it. The pep talk worked. Elena emerged stronger, using her shares to push through innovative programs. She expanded language education into refugee camps, created scholarship funds, and ensured Sterling Industries led in ethical business practices. You're transforming us, Patricia Nguyen said admiringly. Richard builds companies. You build communities. One evening, Reviewing expansion plans, Elena noticed discrepancies in the Shanghai office finances. Her instincts, honed from years of observing from shadows, screamed warning. "Richard, we have a problem." Investigation revealed an embezzlement scheme involving 3 executives. Elena's attention to detail, learned from ensuring every corner was clean, had saved the company millions. "How do you always see what others miss?" Richard asked after the criminals were arrested. "When you're invisible, you learn to really look," Elena explained. "Most people see surfaces. I see patterns. My secret weapon," he said, pulling her close, though hardly secret anymore. Their success attracted jealousy. Competitors tried to poach Elena constantly. One offer made her pause. CEO of a rival company, complete autonomy, double her current compensation. "You're considering it," Richard said, finding her staring at the offer. "I'd be crazy not to. It's everything I dreamed of." "Then take it." His voice was steady, despite the pain in his eyes. "I won't hold you back. You'd let me go. I'd hate it. But Elena, you've outgrown being anyone's second, even mine." He managed a sad smile. "Whatever you decide, we're partners in life. That doesn't change." Elena stared at the CEO offer for days. Tech Global Industries promised her everything: total control, revolutionary resources, a chance to build something entirely her own. Sophia noticed her distraction over dinner. The job offer. Her daughter asked directly, "Am I that obvious?" "Mom, you've reorganized the spice cabinet 3 times this week. You only do that when making big decisions." Sophia fed Alexander another spoonful. "What does Dad think?" "He says to follow my dreams." "But," Elena sighed, "but we built something special at Sterling. The programs, the team, the culture we've created. You could build it again somewhere else." "Could I? Or would I always be comparing, always missing what we have?" That night, unable to sleep, Elena walked through their apartment. Photos covered every surface: their wedding, Sophia's graduation, Alexander's first steps, team celebrations, Yamamoto's last birthday. This was her life, built from nothing into everything. At 3 a.m., she made her decision. "I'm staying," she told Richard over morning coffee. Relief flooded his face. "Thank God. Are you sure?" "I realized something. I spent years dreaming of being seen, being valued. Now I am. Running to prove something to strangers would dishonor everything we've built." She smiled. "Besides, someone needs to keep you from reverting to your workaholic ways." "I love you," he said simply. "I know. That's why I'm staying." The decision to stay triggered unexpected rewards. The board, impressed by her loyalty, voted to create a new position, Chief Innovation Officer, equal in authority to the CEO. Elena would lead all social impact initiatives while maintaining her international relations role. Co-leaders, Richard announced at the company meeting. Building tomorrow, together. The partnership flourished. Richard handled traditional business, while Elena revolutionized their approach to corporate responsibility. The language program expanded into vocational training, teaching coding and technical skills alongside languages. "We're creating global citizens," Elena explained to investors. "Multilingual, multicultural, multi-skilled." One rainy Tuesday, Elena was reviewing applications for the scholarship program when her assistant interrupted. "Miss Sterling, there's a woman here, says she knows you from before." Maria Gonzalez. Elena's heart stopped. Maria had worked alongside her at Building Works, another invisible woman cleaning offices at night. "Send her in." Maria entered hesitantly, wearing the same uniform Elena once wore. "Elena, it's really you. I saw you on TV and couldn't believe." Elena embraced her friend. "How are you? How's your family?" "Struggling," Maria admitted. "My husband was deported last month. I'm working 3 jobs to support our kids." She looked around the executive office with wonder. "You really made it out. Sit, tell me everything." For an hour, Maria poured out her story: children needing school supplies, rent overdue, the constant fear of immigration raids. Elena listened with growing determination. "Maria, can you type? Use computers?" "A little," My daughter teaches me. I'm creating a position, executive assistant, in our scholarship program. Full benefits, visa sponsorship, $40,000 to start. Interested, Maria burst into tears. Alina, I can't, am not qualified. Neither was I, but someone took a chance on me. Alina gripped her friend's hands. Now, I'm taking a chance on you. Word spread quickly through the invisible network of night cleaners. Alina found herself receiving calls, emails, messages from women she'd worked beside. Some needed jobs, others just hope. She helped where she could, creating pathways from shadows to light. You're building an underground railroad for the invisible, Sophia observed. Helping process applications. Everyone deserves to be seen, Alina replied. The initiative grew. Sterling Industries partnered with Building Works to create advancement programs, English classes, skill training, immigration assistance. Within a year, 50 former cleaning staff had transitioned to corporate roles. You're disrupting our entire industry, a competitor complained at a conference. Good, Alina replied. Disruption creates opportunity. Not everyone supported the changes. Some board members grumbled about social experiments and unqualified hires. Alina faced them down with data productivity up, innovation thriving, employee loyalty at record highs. Investing in people pays dividends, she told skeptics. Always. One evening, Richard found her in Alexander's room, watching their son sleep. Long day, good day. Maria got her green card approved. Kenji Yamamoto called. He wants to expand our partnership. And Sophia aced her MIT interview. Our girl's growing up too fast, I know. Alina leaned against him. Sometimes I can't believe this is our life. That scared woman cleaning offices feels like a different person. She's not. She's the foundation everything else is built on. Richard kissed her temple. Her strength, her determination, her heart, they're all still in you. When did you become so wise? When I married my teacher. They stood together, watching their son dream, grateful for the journey that brought them here. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight was perfect. Richard, I've been thinking. Dangerous, she laughed. I want to write a book about the invisible workforce, about potential hiding in plain sight. Will you help? Always. Though, I suggest a ghostwriter. Your spelling in English is still creative. Rude. But she was smiling. My spelling is artistic, artistically challenging, he teased. They bickered gently, comfortable in their love, unaware that Alexander had woken and was watching them with sleepy contentment. This was his normal parents, who loved deeply, a sister who protected fiercely, a life built on courage and compassion. The book tour was exhausting. Invisible, no more. Finding Light in the Shadows had become an unexpected bestseller, and Alina found herself on morning shows, in bookstores, speaking to crowds about dignity. In all work, I never intended to become a spokesperson, she told Richard over video call from Seattle. I just wanted to tell our story. You're giving voice to millions. That matters. Alexander waved from Richard's lap. Someone misses his mama. 2 more cities. Then, I'm home. But in Portland, everything changed. A young woman approached after Elena's reading, trembling. Miss Sterling, I'm like you were. Cleaning offices, undocumented, sick child. But I have evidence of something terrible at my company. I don't know who to trust. Elena's instincts sharpened. What kind of evidence? Human trafficking. They bring in workers, confiscate documents, force them to work for nothing. The woman Anna pulled out a flash drive. Photos, documents, recordings. But I'm scared. If they find out, come with me. Now. Alina canceled her remaining events, flying Anna back to New York immediately. The evidence was damning. A major corporation using enslaved workers, hidden in plain sight. We take this to the FBI, Richard said after reviewing the files. They'll want Anna to testify. She'll be exposed, possibly deported. So we protect her first. Using their resources and connections, they secured Anna and her son's safety, then unleashed the evidence. The FBI raids made international news. Executives were arrested, workers freed, systems changed. You saved lives, Anna told Alina tearfully. just like someone saved yours. We saved each other, Alina corrected. That's what we do live as. We climb. The investigation's success launched Alina into a new realm. The Department of Labor requested her consultation on protecting vulnerable workers. The UN appointed her special advocate for invisible workers. Universities begged her to speak. I'm becoming more symbol than person, Alina confided to Sophia during one of their coffee dates. Is that bad? I don't know. Sometimes I miss just being mom, being Richard's wife, being myself. You're still all those things. You just have a bigger platform now. Sophia stirred her latte thoughtfully. Mom, you taught me that privilege comes with responsibility. You have privilege now. Use it. Sophia was right. Of course. At 18, she'd inherited Elena's wisdom and Richard's strategic mind. MIT had accepted her early admission, but she'd deferred a year to help expand the education program. I want to build a technology that powers the next version, Sophia explained. AI that doesn't just teach language, but cultural integration, job skills, financial literacy. Everything invisible people need to become visible. Following in your mother's footsteps, Richard asked proudly. Forging my own path, Sophia corrected, with really good examples to follow. The year Sophia left for MIT was bittersweet. Alina threw herself into work, expanding Sterling Industries' social programs globally. But she missed her daughter desperately. Empty nest hitting hard. Patricia Nguyen asked, finding Alina staring at Sophia's photo. She's thriving. I'm grateful. But she was your reason for everything. I get it. Patricia smiled. Good thing you have Alexander. And about 50,000 other lives you're changing. It was true. The programs Alina created now supported families across 40 countries. The language education system had evolved into comprehensive life skills training. Former students were becoming teachers, creating exponential impact. You've built a movement, Richard told her one evening, reviewing impact reports. Look at these numbers: 2 million children educated, 100,000 jobs created, entire communities transformed. We built it, Alina corrected. None of this happens without partnership. Speaking of which, Richard pulled out his tablet. The president wants to award you the Medal of Freedom. Alina nearly dropped her wine. What? For extraordinary contribution to American society. The ceremony is next month. I can't accept that. I'm just, if you say, just a cleaning lady. I'm taking away your wine. Richard grinned. Alina, you've redefined what American success looks like. Accept the honor. Only if you're there with me. Wild horses couldn't keep me away. The medal ceremony was surreal. Standing in the White House, Alina thought of her younger self, desperate, invisible, scrubbing floors to buy medicine. That woman could never have imagined this moment. For demonstrating that greatness exists in every corner of American life, the president said, placing the medal around her neck. For seeing potential where others saw only problems. For building bridges across every divide. In the audience, Richard held Alexander while Sophia filmed Elena's mother. Finally, a citizen herself wept with pride. Maria and dozens of other women Alina had helped stood witness to transformation. Any words? The president asked. Alina approached the microphone, thinking of all the invisible people watching. 20 years ago, I cleaned offices in the dark. Today, I stand in the light. But I'm not special. I'm proof that talent exists everywhere, waiting for opportunity. She switched to Spanish. Para todos los invisibles en su momento, llegará. Sigue adelante. To all the invisible ones. Your moment will come. Keep going. The applause was thunderous. But Alina heard something more: the whisper of mops on floors, the rustle of uniforms, the quiet breathing of workers in shadows around the world, daring to hope. Later at the reception, a young senator approached. Ms. Sterling, have you considered public service? We need voices like yours in government. I serve publicly every day, Alina replied diplomatically. Think bigger. Real policy change. Real power to transform systems. Richard appeared at her elbow. Senator, my wife builds better policy outside government than most manage inside it. For now, the senator smiled knowingly. But things change. People evolve. Consider it, Ms. Sterling. Your country needs leaders who understand struggle. The Senate hearing room was packed. Elena sat at the witness table, prepared to testify about labor trafficking, when protesters burst in. "Hypocrite," they shouted. "Sterling Industries exploits workers while she plays savior." Security moved to intervene, but Elena raised her hand. "Let them speak." The lead protester, a young woman, stepped forward. "Your company contracts with suppliers using child labor in Bangladesh. How dare you talk about protecting workers?" Elena's stomach dropped. She'd personally vetted all suppliers. This couldn't be true. "I'm not aware of any such contracts, but I promise to investigate immediately." "Lies. We have proof." The woman threw photos on the table. Children at sewing machines. Sterling Industries logos visible. The hearing dissolved into chaos. Within hours, the images were viral. St. Helena's sweatshop's headlines screamed. Everything she'd built threatened to crumble. "The photos are real," Richard confirmed that evening, pale with shock. "A subcontractor we didn't know about. Our approved supplier outsourced to them without telling us. How did we miss this? They hid it well. Fake documentation, staged inspections." He slumped in his chair. "Elena, I'm so sorry. This happened on my watch, our watch," she corrected. "We fixed this together." But the damage spread quickly. Critics who'd always resented Elena's rise pounced. Social media exploded with takes about the fake humanitarian and the cleaning lady who forgot her roots. "Mom, don't read those," Sophia urged over video call from MIT. "I have to know what we're fighting." Elena scrolled through vicious comments. "They're calling me a fraud." "You're not. You made a mistake, or rather, someone deceived you. There's a difference." Alexander, now 3, climbed into Elena's lap. "Mama sad. A little baby. I fixed." He kissed her cheek with sticky lips. If only it were that simple. Elena flew to Bangladesh immediately. Against security advice. She needed to see for herself, to meet the children, to understand how her vigilance had failed. The factory was worse than the photos. Children as young as 8 worked in dangerous conditions. The manager tried to bar her entry, but Elena pushed past. "I'm Elena Sterling. These children are being freed today. You have no authority here. I have resources and rage. Test me." Working with local NGOs, Elena orchestrated the factory's closure and the children's rescue within 48 hours. She personally ensured each child received medical care, education, funding, and family support. "Why help us?" one young girl asked through a translator. "You're already in trouble." "Because you matter more than my reputation," Elena replied. Photos of Elena carrying children from the factory went viral but critics remained unmoved. "Damage control," they sneered. Photo op. Back home, Sterling Industries stock plummeted. Board members called emergency meetings. Several demanded Elena's resignation. "She's become a liability," one argued. "The brand is tainted. The brand is nothing without integrity." Richard shot back. "Elena exposed a problem and fixed it. That's leadership." But pressure mounted. Protesters surrounded their building. Death threats arrived daily. One night, someone spray-painted "hypocrite" on their apartment building. "Maybe I should step down," Elena said, staring at the graffiti. "For the company. For our family." "Don't you dare," Richard said fiercely. "You've never run from a fight. I've never had this much to lose. You've never had this much to protect. Those children in Bangladesh, who fights for them if you quit?" The investigation Elena launched revealed a horrifying network. The Bangladesh factory was one of dozens, hidden beneath layers of subcontractors. Major corporations unknowingly supported child labor through deliberately complex supply chains. "We can't fix this alone," Elena told her team. "We need industry-wide change." She proposed something radical: complete supply chain transparency. Every contractor, every factory, every worker, visible and verified. It would cost millions and require unprecedented cooperation. "It's impossible," competitors said. "So was a cleaning lady becoming an executive," Elena replied. "I specialize in impossible." Slowly, allies emerged. Other companies, shamed by their own hidden connections to exploitation, joined the initiative. Tech companies developed blockchain systems to track supply chains. NGOs provided ground verification. The Transparent Trade Initiative launched 6 months after the scandal broke. Alina stood before the press, thin from stress, but determined. We failed those children. I failed them. But failure can birth transformation if we're brave enough to change. Ms. Sterling, a reporter called, critics say this is too little, too late. Your reputation is destroyed. My reputation matters less than those children's futures. Judge me by what we build, not what we broke. The initiative succeeded beyond expectations. Within a year, child labor in participating supply chains dropped 70%. Other industries adopted the model. Universities taught it as a case study in ethical business transformation. You turn disaster into revolution. Patricia Nguyen marveled. How? By remembering who I am, Alina replied. A woman who knows how to clean up messes. The Medal of Freedom ceremony felt like a lifetime ago. Alina had learned that visibility came with vulnerability, that lifting others meant risking your own fall. But she'd also learned that true strength lay in getting back up. Proud of you, Richard said one evening, finding her in Alexander's room again. For surviving, for thriving, for teaching our children that integrity matters more than image. Speaking of our children, Alina smiled. Sophia called. She's developed an app that connects invisible workers directly with employers. No middlemen, no exploitation. Following her mother's footsteps, making her own path, Alina corrected, but with good examples. They stood together, older now, scarred by battles, but not broken. Outside, New York hummed with life, visible and invisible, all mattering, all deserving dignity. What's next? Richard asked. Tomorrow, the Transparent Trade Conference. Next week, testimony before Congress. Next month, expansion to Africa. I meant tonight, Alina laughed. Tonight, mac and cheese with Alexander. Help Sophia debug her code remotely. Maybe actually sleep 8 hours. Revolutionary, Richard teased. The most important revolutions happen at home, Alina said, meaning, 10 years had passed since Alina first stepped forward in that conference room. Now, at 51, she stood in the same space, but everything had changed. The room was filled with Alina's army, hundreds of former invisible workers who'd found their voices through Sterling Industries programs. Today, we celebrate not my journey, but ours. Alina addressed a crowd. Each of you proves that talent has no uniform, no accent, no documentation status. Among the audience, Maria had become director of community outreach. Aina, the whistleblower, from Portland, now led the Transparent Trade Initiative. Dozens of others had risen from cleaning crews to corporate leadership. Mom's getting sentimental, Sophia whispered to Richard. At 28, she'd returned from MIT with multiple degrees and revolutionary ideas about ethical technology. She's earned it, Richard replied, his hair now silver but his pride undimmed. After the celebration, Alina found a quiet moment in her office. The walls displayed photos from her journey, the first Yamamoto meeting, her wedding, the Medal of Freedom, Alexander's first day of school, Sophia's MIT graduation. A knock interrupted her reflection. Miss Sterling, there's someone here to see you. A young woman entered, wearing a Building Works uniform. Elena's heart recognized the look, desperation mixed with fading hope. I'm Carmen. I clean the overnight shift. I heard you help people like us. Sit, Elena said gently. Tell me your story. Carmen's tale was heartbreakingly familiar. Single mother, sick child, expired visa, dreams deferred. But she had something special. She'd taught herself coding while cleaning offices, learning from screens left open. I know it's crazy, but I love programming. I understand it. If I just had a chance, Elena smiled. Crazy, no. Brave. Yes, she called Sophia. I have someone you need to meet. Within minutes, Sophia was testing Carmen's skills, growing increasingly. Excited, Mom. She's brilliant, self-taught, and better than half my MIT classmates. Then let's change her life, Elena said simply. Watching Sophia mentor Carmen, Alina felt profound satisfaction. The cycle continued, each person lifted, pulling others up behind them. That evening, the Sterling family gathered for their weekly dinner. Alexander, now 13 and passionate about social justice, dominated conversation. My teacher says the Supreme Court might overturn workplace protections. Can they do that, Mom? They can try, Alina said carefully. But we've built something stronger than law. We've changed culture. That's harder to overturn. Still, Sophia interjected, we should prepare. I've been thinking about decentralizing our programs, making them community-owned rather than corporate-dependent. Richard smiled. Listen to our revolutionary always thinking ahead. Someone has to, Sophia said. Comfortable companies become complacent companies. Alina watched her family debate, marveling at how different Alexander's childhood was from Sophia's early years. He'd never known poverty or fear, but they'd raised him to understand both. Speaking of thinking ahead, Richard said, the board wants to discuss succession planning. We're not getting younger. Speak for yourself, Alina protested. I'm in my prime. For CEO, Richard clarified. I'm ready to step back, focus on the foundation work. The board wants to know if you're interested. Alina nearly choked on her wine. CEO of Sterling Industries. Who else? You've been co-leading for years. The company's values are your values now. Mom, you have to do it, Alexander said immediately. Imagine from cleaning lady to CEO. That's like ultimate inspiration. It's not about inspiration, Alina said slowly. It's about responsibility. Running a billion-dollar company is what you've been doing, Sophia pointed out, just with different titles. That night, Alina couldn't sleep. She walked through their apartment, pausing at the framed photo of her first day as an official employee. That terrified woman in an ill-fitting suit bore a little resemblance to who she'd become. Can't sleep. Richard found her on the balcony, thinking about time, how it changes everything and nothing. Very philosophical for 2 a.m. Do you really want to step back? I want to paint, travel with you. Watch Alexander grow up without board meetings, interrupting. He pulled her close. I've built my empire. Now I want to enjoy it. And you think I should take over? I think you already have. The title would just make it official. See you, Elena Martinez. Sterling. She tested the words. Sounds pretentious. Sounds perfect, Richard corrected. Like everything about you. The board vote was unanimous. Even former skeptics recognized Elena's transformation of Sterling Industries from profit-focused to purpose-driven had strengthened, not weakened, the company. The announcement made international headlines. From cleaning lady to CEO, the American dream realized. But Alina barely noticed a media frenzy. She was too busy restructuring the company for the next decade. First priority, she told her leadership team, is making our programs self-sustaining. We can't depend on corporate goodwill forever. What about profits? Someone asked. Profits follow purpose. Always have, always will. Under Elena's leadership, Sterling Industries pioneered stakeholder capitalism, measuring success by impact on employees, communities, and environment, not just shareholders. Stock prices initially wobbled, then soared as conscious consumers embraced the model. You're rewriting business school textbooks. Patricia Nguyen laughed. Literally. Harvard wants to name a case study after you. Tell them to name it after all of us, Alina replied. No one transforms alone. 5 years into Elena's tenure as CEO, Sterling Industries had become the most valuable company in America, just financially, but socially. The White House called regularly for advice. Universities studied their model. But Elena's proudest achievement stood before her now. Ladies and gentlemen, Sophia announced, welcome to the opening of the Elena Martinez Center for Invisible Workers. The building, once a factory where immigrants had labored in shadows, now housed comprehensive services, legal aid, education, healthcare, job training. Everything Elena had needed but couldn't find now existed under one roof. Mom, you're crying, Alexander teased. At 18, he towered over her, bound for Yale to study law and social justice. Happy tears, Alina assured him. Richard took her hand as they entered the center. At 65, he'd embraced retirement with enthusiasm, painting and mentoring young entrepreneurs. But his deepest joy remained supporting Elena's vision. Your legacy, he murmured. Our legacy. She corrected. Inside, hundreds of workers and their families explored resources. Children attended coding classes. Sophia designed. Adults learned languages through Elena's evolved AI system. Lawyers helped with immigration papers. Doctors provided free clinics. Ms. Sterling, a woman approached with 3 children. You don't know me, but you saved my family. I heard your story 5 years ago, when I was cleaning offices and afraid. Now I'm a registered nurse. My children are in college. Because you showed me it was possible. Stories like this filled the day. Each person Alina had helped others, creating ripples of transformation. The invisible army had become an unstoppable force. Mama, Mama. A tiny voice interrupted Elena's conversation. Her granddaughter, Sophia's 3-year-old daughter, Luna, ran toward her with sticky hands. There's my girl. Elena scooped her up, not caring about her designer suit. Grandma's giving a speech, Sophia explained, appearing with her wife Jennifer. Luna insisted on listening. Of course she did. Future CEO in training. Elena took the podium, Luna on her hip, looking out at the sea of faces, workers and executives, citizens and dreamers, all united by shared humanity. 25 years ago, I stood in Richard Sterling's conference room, terrified but determined. I was invisible, a cleaning lady who dared to step into the light. She paused, emotion thick. Today, we stand together, proof that no one is invisible, unless we choose not to see them. She spoke about journey and justice, about courage and community. Luna played with Elena's hair, occasionally adding baby commentary that made everyone laugh. The center we opened today isn't about charity, Elena continued. It's about recognition that talent exists everywhere. That dignity belongs to everyone. That America is built by all who dare to dream. She switched to Spanish. Para todos los que limpian en la oscuridad, su luz llegará. To all who clean in darkness, your light will come. Then Mandarin. Every person has value beyond their labor. Arabic. Dignity is not granted by others, but claimed by ourselves. Japanese. The greatest treasure is human potential. Finally, back to English. We named this center, not for me, but for all of us who refused to remain invisible. May it stand as proof that in America, transformation is always possible. The applause was deafening. Elena passed Luna to Sophia, accepted hugs from hundreds of people whose lives had intertwined with hers. Later, as the sun set over New York, the Sterling family gathered on the center's roof garden. 3 generations looked out at the city lights. Elena and Richard, Sophia and Jennifer, with Luna, Alexander, with his boyfriend Marcus. What are you thinking, Mom? Sophia asked. About circles. How life brings us back to where we started, but changed. Elena smiled. I used to watch these lights from night buses, exhausted from cleaning. Now you light up the city yourself, Alexander finished. We all do, Elena corrected. Every person who steps from shadow to light adds to the brightness. Richard pulled her close. No regrets. How could I regret the path that led to this? She gestured to their family, the center below, the city beyond. Every moment was worth it. Even the hard ones, especially the hard ones. They taught me strength. Luna had fallen asleep in Sophia's arms. Looking at her granddaughter, saw the future, a child who would grow up in a world where fewer people remained invisible, where talent was recognized regardless of its uniform. She'll never know how revolutionary you are, Jennifer said softly to her powerful Latina. Changing the world will be normal. Good, Elena said firmly. That's the point. To make extraordinary so common, it becomes ordinary. As night fell, they remained on the roof. This unlikely family built from courage and love. The city below teemed with invisible workers, beginning their shifts, but also with visible ones, heading home to families, dreams intact. Tell us a story again, Alexander requested. About the first day. You know it by heart, Elena protested. Tell it anyway. For Luna's memories. For history. So Alina told, it's the conference room crisis, the spilled water, the moment of choosing courage over comfort. But this time, she told it differently. Not as a fairy tale of rescue, but as testament to what happens when we truly see each other. The end, she concluded, is really just the beginning of what Marcus asked. Alina looked at her family, at the center bearing her name, at the city she'd helped transform. Of everything, she said simply. Of a world where no one remains invisible unless they choose to be. Of recognition that every person cleaning tonight could be running the company tomorrow. Of understanding that the American dream isn't climbing from bottom to top, it's lifting as we climb. Heavy thoughts, Grandma, Sophia teased. Heavy truth, Alina replied, but worth carrying. They stayed until the stars appeared, rare and precious, above New York's glow. Each light below represented a life, a story, a possibility. Alina had been one light among millions. Now she helped others shine. Time to go home, Richard asked eventually. We are home, Alina said, meaning not just the place but the people, the purpose, the piece of a life well-lived. As they packed up, Luna stirred in Sophia's arms. Grandma, she mumbled, you important. Alina kissed her granddaughter's forehead. No more or less than anyone else. Me amor. That's the most important lesson of all. The Elena Martinez Center for Invisible Workers glowed behind them as they left, a beacon in the darkness. Inside, night shift workers were already arriving for English classes, legal consultations, and computer training. The cleaning lady had become CEO. But more importantly, she'd ensured others wouldn't have to wait 25 years for their chance to shine. The circle was complete. The story, still being written by millions of hands, holding mops and manuscripts. Dreams and determination, all reaching for the light.